Okay, so we are here live, and I'm making sure that I have everything working if I lose all my nice video and this lovely lady that you're seeing here. So let me just um, make sure that everything is fine. Yeah, it's recording. And I'm going to be sharing the screen. Let me bring up our website. Are you seeing that, Shari?
Yes. Yeah,
Beautiful.
there's one. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're good to go, I hope. All right. Yeah, we're good to go. And let me just do a quick check here. 1 second for me. All right. So this is your favorite radio host. This is Corinne Lafont, and I'm not going to be sounding people. Please forgive me, but I have no control over this. I got the flu last week. It was the most horrific thing. Well, we always say it's the most horrific, right? But because we forget the last one and the one before that and so on. But it was really awful, and I'm still having a hard time. Now I've gone to the phase of coughing and nagging, hacking, irritating, just don't want to leave me, fall in love, cough, and I'm trying to get a divorce quickly. So I'm going to be talking with Shari today, Shari Molchan, as you can see on the screen. I hope you can see it. And I'm going to mute myself. So when she's talking, I'm not going to be interrupting with my horrible cough. So we're on Between the Lines today, and I am broadcasting from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. And Shari is going to tell us a bit later where she's from. We're going to be on this for about 30 to 35 minutes. And so I'm going to make the most of Shari while we're on. She has a favorite topic and something that I really think we all need to discuss. Money is an inside job first. She's not saying that is the only thing, but it's the first thing. Money is an inside job. And we're going to learn what she means by money is an inside job. Yeah. And she's going to leave us with some tips, strategies, and how to really move from where we are now to where we really deserve and should be. Yeah. And I'm sure she's going to be sharing her story, because she wouldn't probably just wake up one morning and know all of this automatically. She must have gone through something to be able to say she knows this is where it's coming from, to be able to share it with you. So before I bring on Shari, and although you're seeing her, I am going to be saying a bit about Shari quickly. She is a money specialist who transforms not only people's relationships with money, but she also helps them break down the blocks and limiting beliefs. Lord, we suffer from these things that keeps them from creating a business or personal life that they deep down know they could have. She demystifies complex money concepts and offers simple tools that help our clients and audience alike lead their best life and serve the world. Just as I was saying, and I didn't even read a bio before, she knows from her own personal experience that when you begin to believe in yourself, you are going to experience success you can hardly imagine today. When she's not demystifying money in her clients, or for her clients rather, you can find her working on lowering her golf handicap or chasing her 5 grandchildren. Now, I know that last part is a lie. How I know that is a lie? None that there aren't grandchildren around, But she cannot have 5 grandchildren. You see, when you look at Shari, look at her. Shari cannot claim that she has 5 grandchildren. No way. Because that would mean, if my maths is correct, she would have gotten pregnant at the age of 1. To
I
be
love
able
you already.
to have 5 grandchildren. I'm not lying. Look at her. Look at her. She is absolutely beautiful. So for her to be chased up is probably other people's 5 grandchildren she's running around to look so beautiful. Yes, it must be that. Welcome, Shari, to be
Thanks, Ukraine.
Yes.
Thank you.
So tell us, let's go let's go a little bit back into your history now. You say you know from first-hand experience that money is an inside job. Explain to our audience and those who will be listening to this show, what do you mean by it's an inside job? Because it sounds like you need to rob a bank. You know, when people say it's an inside job, that, you know, we need to rob the bank. Is it that just, you know, the money's in the bank? That's where money is. Okay, Shari? The money's in the bank, it's on Wall Street, you know,
Yeah.
all those financial institutions. So what
Yeah.
do you mean that money is an inside job? That we need to rob the bank? I hope that's not what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that money's in how we do money, and how what reflection of how we are actually doing money is an inside job, because it's how we're thinking about money is actually the results and the lifestyle that we're living. And I'll back up a little bit, because you asked me to give you a little bit of history of me.
Yeah.
I was married very young, at 18, and had my babies when I was 20, 21, almost 21. So, my son, and so that's why I have 5 grandkids. But I went in and out of divorces when it's 2 divorces. And by the time I turned 39, my first husband everything was in his name. I had no idea. I mean, I was blinders, can you imagine at 18, you're getting married, right? I had no education about money. I'd never lived on my own. So I met a guy who was 10 years older than me, and he took care of everything. He had the house and the bills, everything was taken care of by him. And so when we got divorced, I was like, now what do I do? And I had no credit rating because nothing was in my name, another clue that nobody had told me about. And so I was kind of pinballing through life trying to figure out money. A friend of a friend knew somebody in a bank that got me a credit card, and so I was able to do that. And then I got married again, and again he took care of all the money, and I didn't take care of the money, and that marriage ended. And here I was, 39 years old, with 2 teenage boys, and I had no idea. And I also had credit card that was extremely high. Just I was surviving. And a gal that I was working with, she was making 6-figure income and had a nice car, and she had owned her own home, and she was doing really well. And I'm like, I'm doing the same job as you. Like, how can this be? And she introduced me to personal development and a little thing called our mind, of how we think and do money.
Mm-hmm.
And my life changed dramatically. And so now I feel like I'm paying it forward to other women and men that didn't get the education around money, or how to deal with money, and the emotional ties that we have to money from our past.
Shari,
So
you're talking a number of things. One, relationships, getting married early, education. Let me go back to relationships. We have been brought up to believe that the man's supposed to take care of everything. He's when I say everything, I mean the provider. We are the nurturers as women. We are caregivers and nurturers. And that's innate in us as women. Some women don't have it, but most of us we do. And so we leave it up to the men to manage the finances, to do all of that, and we just trust. Yeah.
Yes.
We trust and don't feel that we should be actively involved in that role, in that aspect of the relationship, and to also realize that it's a preparation, because we're not thinking I'm marrying this person to get a divorce. Come on. Nobody's going in to say, well, you see, you in the next 2 years I'm divorcing, you're behind, so I need to prepare. Nobody does that. You're going into it for life. And you did it twice. Some people do it 3 times, and you made the same mistake twice, and some people make the same mistake 3 times. I want women listening to this especially to realize that you're going into a relationship, you have to learn as much as you can, and it's not to depend on the other person to do things, because things happen. You're not looking for it. Things happen, and you want to be able to stand on firm ground, not on quicksand, right, to suck you in. Because the same question that you see a lot of women go through, what am I going to do now? So that's the first thing. The next thing is about marrying young and not being prepared. And I'm going to tie that in with education. Our education system does not prepare us for life. A lot of people feel that you go to school, you know, the usual, Shari. You
Yeah.
get the best grades, you do well, go to university, and you come out and look for a job. Listen to me. I have been trying to tell people that model does not work. But yet, for all, it is still being perpetuated. Yes, the younger generation now is fighting that system and doing their own thing. And hopefully, in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there will be no such thing as a formal education. There will be
Yeah,
life education.
I agree.
Because the formal education is not preparing you for life, right? It
No.
cannot and it will not. It cannot and it will not. And this is why people who live on the streets, who have a street life, are better able to cope than the people who go to the Ivy League schools or even to a regular school, to be able to survive out there. And so you're talking about, you saw somebody who was living the life that you wanted.
Yeah.
And you were like, what the hell? I come on. I'm sure I'm probably even smarter than you. You know,
Yeah.
I'm the best schools, and you feel, Shari, you have something to show off about. But when you realize you look in there in your account, you had nothing to show off about. So you had
Exactly.
to get humbled very fast. And so
Yeah.
personal development is very, very important. And I like how you talk about when you started your personal development, your life started to change. And I want you to share more about those type of personal development strategies and steps that, as you said, work on your mind. What are the books that you're reading? Because just to segue a little bit, I have a program on my website that I recently put up. It's not something that I haven't put up before, but I rebranded and put it up again to show people that this personal development thing is not a joke. It is working on yourself, because you can't even go into a relationship with somebody if you can't work on yourself. So I want you to share. I want you to share, Shari, those things that you worked on your mind. Your mind,
Yeah.
and your mind is not your brain, people. Shari, you need to tell them.
Yeah.
Your mind
That's
is not your brain. You cannot see your
mind is in your brain.
I want you to tell them. So, what are those things that you use, the strategies, the tips? Because you said it's an inside job.
It is.
It is an inside job. So
And
I'm going to leave you to do a lot of the talking now so that I can keep quiet.
okay. Thanks, Crane. Yeah, the whole thing about the education, I did not get any education, not only from my school. I grew up in the 70s or 60s and 70s, basically. And I did not have any formal education about money. My parents, I grew up in a household that whereas like you didn't talk about money, it was like a taboo subject. You didn't ask how much they made or what the bills were. I mean, it's so wrong. So for any of you parents out there, tell your kids, like teach them about money, because the school's not doing it. So when the whole self-care that I started when I was 39, seeing this other lady that I worked with, I realized through personal development that I had grown up with a white knight's going to come and save me and take me away, when in reality I needed to become my own white knight, and I needed to stand and attract somebody that was meant for me, not whatever happens to come. Because that ladies, if you're the ladies that are listening, the white knight usually comes in a Ford with payments, not a white knight, right?
Ford with
So
peanuts, Lord, yes.
Mustang, a Ford Mustang, or a Mustang with payments, right? So you got to really be conscious about, this whole education about money. I mean, it was an eye opener to me, and the most ironic thing was that I was a financial advisor when all this happened, but I was, that was my title. But really what I was doing was I was selling life insurance, because my first husband died a couple years before I'd started, and he didn't have life insurance or a will, or, I mean, we were divorced, but my kids lost their father. So I could sell life insurance because I didn't have any either. I'd put my head in the sand on that one too, because nobody had really explained it to me. So that was the ironic thing. Here I am talking financial advisor, but I am not even advising I have even no idea what the hell that is, because I'm not even doing it for me.
Wow.
So the whole program that she introduced me to like Brian Tracy. A book that changed my life was Maximum Achievement, from Brian Tracy. I did all Tony Robbins programs.
Oh, yes.
All of those, and literally my life just, I did not know who Shari was. I was married at 18, grew up in a dysfunctional family and couldn't wait to get out of the house and just have somebody else kind of take care of me. And that's what I basically did, was until I woke up and went, whoa, wait a minute. If it's to be, it's up to me, kind of a thing. And so when I started looking at who I am, what's important to me, and really tapped into my values, what drives me, what is my, like, I'd walk over glass for. That's how I describe values to people. And when I tapped into that, my life changed. I kind of took a sabbatical of dating and everything else, and just went, you know what? I have never taken the time for myself, and really took a deep dive into what is it that I wanted? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What do I want to be? And it took 2 years, and then the man I'm married to now actually came into my life. But I had everything, and I had taken care of everything. I had gotten rid of my debt.
Yes.
I had got a promotion in my job, which had then my secure income because I was a single mom with 2 boys. And so the personal development of finding out and getting on what was going on in here, compared to what was going on out there, literally changed my life. I lost 40 pounds. I lost, it just, everything ripples out into all areas of your life. My kids started doing better.
Shari, I'll tell you, there are people who may be reading these books and nothing is happening. Because they would say, oh, you're reading the books, I'm reading the books. What it is that it takes. I'm trying to formulate the question. What makes a difference?
I know, I get what you're saying. So what it takes.
Yeah.
The difference was that I had somebody helping me, that I had mentors. And now I realize how so many people try and do it themselves. And granted, there are people that can do it. There are maybe 2% or 4% of people that can read those books and change their lives. I know so many people, you can go to the same motivational speaker and sit down for a weekend and yeah, this is great. I love this. I'm going to change. And you do everything, and then after a week it kind of wanes off. And then the next week, the book kind of goes over here, and then the next thing you know, it's up on the shelf and you're not even looking at it, what you're supposed to do. And that's self-help comes shelf-help, right? We've heard that. So the key thing for me was that I had a mentor. I had somebody there holding my hand, not literally, but basically keeping, what do you want? What do you want? And helping me get through these blocks that would come up for me, and they would question me on them. And those were just limiting beliefs that I had that I didn't even know that I had about success.
What was some of the limiting beliefs you had? Because they may resonate with the listening audience. What are some of them?
One was that you had to marry to be successful. Then you find a good husband, and he'll take care of you.
Yeah.
That was one limiting belief. The other was that
that's a limiting belief. A lot of people might say, but wait, that's what my parents teach me.
It's sure. But you know what? We are the result of our parents' beliefs, and they're not necessarily right or wrong. And that's the crazy thing about like where our beliefs come from. They did the best that they could do with what they had, but they might not be exactly what we need. So unless we get outside influence, or we have something to help us change that, there's some little inkling inside of you says, hey, you know what, this isn't right, but well, why should I want this? Because my parents, they're doing fine, or, who am I? Or, maybe why should I want this? I have a client right now that I'm working with, and she goes, well, you know, Shari, she says, you want me to think about out of the box and like, what would be my deepest, darkest, you know, desires? Like, what do I really, really, really want? And she would love to be in the Olympics. She's a runner. She wins races. She just won a award in town here. And then she says, well, what's wrong with the life I've got? Why should I want more?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And she does want more, but she's like, well, it should be wrong to want more than what you have. Be happy with what you've got. Settle for
because that's
have.
what you're taught. That's what you're taught. Be happy with what you've got. Yeah. So we are surrounded by limiting beliefs from the time we were born. And like you said, we can't blame our parents because they were taught the same thing and their parents were taught the same thing, and it just perpetuates. So when we reach a certain age, we need to, I guess, get rebellious and become deviant. But then when you become deviant, you are looked upon as deviant and rebellious. You know, like who are you? Yeah, when you're really trying to find yourself, you realize that what you were taught is not what you really believe in, or you question it. And then your parents or the people who are older look at you and say, you ask too many questions.
Yeah.
You ask so you're surrounded. It's like a constant struggle, Shari, in life.
And the other thing too is it depends on who your friends are, right? If you're wanting, you see somebody successful and that's driving nice cars or going on trips, and you go, you know, I would really like that. And then somebody, it depends on who's around you, might say, well, oh yeah, well, they're snobs, or you know, they're richer, they think they're better than us, or type of thing. Then if you want that, depending on who you're hanging around with, you'll actually go, oh, well, I don't want to be like that. I'm going to lose my friends around me. One of the key things for me that I noticed is that as I started to up my game and believe in more than what I wanted, other people kind of tried to pull me back down, right, into their comfort zone. And I literally had to lose relationships. And I'm like, hey, come on up here. Like, there's lots of room. Like, come on, I'll show you how you can have what I have. And they're like, yeah, no, I don't think so. So I've lost friendships because they're not, you know, it's like, you know, you can even say law of attraction or vibrating, right? They're not vibrating at the same level as me. You know, we would rather be the devil that we know than one we don't. You know, it's why we stay with men that beat them, and you know, it's all that until there's like a shift, and you go, wait a second, no, this isn't where I want to be.
So there's sacrifice. There's sacrifice in the process. So recognizing, becoming aware, becoming conscious, taking action, you know, seeing what you want out there and going for it, and not saying, oh, this person, you know, being negative and bring them down, which is what, of course, your friends or people around you will say. And of course, they will say that because they don't have it. And it's not like they don't want it either, you know, but they realize, oh, well, I'm almost whatever age, I'm not going to get that anyway. So, and then, of course, they cannot allow you to move out of the group, and do that.
So think about it. You know, anytime that there's change, I mean, do we like change? No, right? But it's like exercising though, like a new muscle. When you change, you know, at first it's gonna hurt. You're gonna go, oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And then, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And so a lot of my clients that come and talk to me where they want to up their game, they're not happy. Usually there's debt involved. And they're, you know, it almost takes to that, I can't handle this anymore stage. And some don't have debt that come to me. They just know that, like, oh, I just want to get up here and I'm just stuck here and I don't know what's going on. And it's always up here. It's always is like what they're thinking about money, because we don't know what to think.
Yeah.
You know, and we can't ask ourselves the questions that get us unstuck out of this.
Yeah.
You know, our pattern of whatever we're in, right?
But you know, I'll say something to you, Shari. What I realize, and I'm saying this for my own life too, because we all go through a process. We are a work in progress. And I think the golden key to break those limiting beliefs and to really move to where we have to go is humility. Humility. You were a financial advisor, you're in the life insurance, whatever, and you're like, but hold on. How am I giving people advice when I'm not even there?
Yeah.
You know, who am I
Yeah.
really to be doing that?
Yeah.
You know, other people are doing better than me, really, and you know, I am looking down on them. Who am I to really look down on them?
Yeah.
You have to come down. You have to come down. You have to become humble to say, me, I recognize I don't have the things that that person have and I want to have. And
Yeah.
I need to get that person's help. I need to get coaching. I need to be mentored. I need to be humble enough to listen, to learn, to do things differently. I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to take on fear. I need, you know, and that
Yeah.
requires humility.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, it's like, not saying that everybody is not, you know, some people, having a lot of success is not necessarily everybody's dream, right? I mean,
Right.
it's okay to be happy where you are, but if you're feeling like there's something missing and and you don't know what it is, you can only go as far, like as much as you know. You're doing exactly what you do with what you know. When you know better, you do better. You know, I love that quote by Maya Angelou. So it's finding out what is actually important to you,
Mm.
and then if it's not what you're doing, then what do you want? What do you want to do different? And do you know what breaks my heart, Kareen?
Mm-hmm.
So many people, when I ask them what they want, they can't answer it.
I was just
I
about
just,
to say that. I was just about to say that. Most people don't know.
it breaks my heart. Is why I changed from being the financial, I still am a financial advisor. I've been that for 21 years. So I still coach around money, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that the inner game was so, people were sabotaging their plans and doing that. I shifted my whole business to actual coaching,
Yeah.
because I realized that you can put money away and then get it out, but you're not happy. You're just like a robot,
Yeah.
okay, put your money away, because everybody, no, everybody is so smart and they think, oh, I'm so stupid with money. And I'm just like, money has nothing to do with it. It's actually innocent.
Yeah.
It's you that
Yeah.
is, because money, we all know, save, spend less than you earn, or make more money. Like those are, kind of the cardinal rules of money.
Yeah.
That's easy,
Yeah.
right? So if it was so easy, then why isn't everybody rich and happy, right? Well,
Yeah.
it's because we carry this backpack of
Yeah.
emotional baggage around us
Yeah.
that stops us from being successful, whatever success looks like to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Money has no feeling. Money don't know the difference between good and bad. It's
No,
you.
it is. It is.
You know, it has no
And
feeling. It's a form of exchange. It's a means to an end. You know, it just does what it's supposed to do. But it has
yeah,
no emotion. It doesn't care about anything.
yeah. So I really believe that we all have a destiny, something inside of us that we're meant to be or do or have. And we get hints of it every now and then, like something will happen. And it's like, one of the ways I explained it to my client, because she was having a hard time wondering what you want. And I says, well, what do you see your other friends have that you would really like? Well, then she actually could come up with some stuff, and so it's like, if you feel envy of somebody else, and that envy is like, God, I love this, that's kind of a clue to you that maybe you do want that. Or if you see somebody driving a nice car and you go, well, whatever, that's a nice car, but I kind of like my little
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good
sprint car,
point.
whatever,
You have to
that's
make it easy. Yeah, you have to give a reference point. I like how you did that, because I was going to ask you, how do you help people to know what they do want when they're struggling to even come up with an idea of what they want? You know, because
and you,
I think we have lived in a world of whatever people tell us we want is what we want.
yes,
You
yes,
know, so we have stopped thinking of what we really want is really the influence of what everybody else wants is what
yeah,
we want. So we don't
yeah.
have a thought, an idea, our own whatever. We just don't. And you
Well,
realize, who
and
am I? Who?
yeah, there's shame and there's embarrassment, or like it's like, oh well, I should want that, then that's like being greedy, or but again, that's an old money message, right? Like rich people are greedy, or a penny saved is a penny earned. Well, if you just save pennies, you're going to be broke, right? But it's so all of these rich people are snobs, or they think they're better than me. So if you grew up with this, and it's ingrained, and a lot of these are in your subconscious, some of the stuff, the work that I do with my clients is like we go deep dive, right? Because and emotions come up, but it's good, it's better out than in, right? I like to say is like to get them out of what it is that is bugging you, and is like you just feel that knot inside of you. And man, it's so rewarding to see people see the the light, or their future, and their lives change. And I just want to go back a bit to what you said about couples. I've been doing a lot of work with couples lately, and if you are in a relationship, or just about to get into a relationship, have a money talk with your partner, because so many times, like they come to me usually when it's blown up and it's in a disaster, and like there's so much debt, and one person hasn't been telling the other person the truth about money. So make sure you have a money conversation. Do you know what the credit card bills are? Do you know what the bills are? Do you know how much of money it costs to run the house every month? So many couples that I coach do not have, one person usually does the money, and the other person just puts their head in the sand until something big blows up, and then they have the money shout.
Typical. And money is one of the main things that causes divorce and quarrel in the family.
Yeah, I've got this new gal I'm just coaching right now, and she's about to get into a relationship. And I said to her, okay, so how does he feel about money? Well, I don't know. We haven't had that discussion. Does he have any debt? You need to know these things before you get into a relationship, because it will blow up. And the number one reason for divorce is lack of communication, right? Usually. And so if they're number one thing they're not usually communicating about, money. Right? And love it or hate it, money, we need it. Unless you're going to live in a cave and eat fish in the stream beside it, like you got to get used to, you've got to deal with your money.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I'm here on your website. I just want to let people know that it's sharimolchan.com. And as you can see, she keeps her headings very simple. Hello, me, you. Yeah. She has a blog. She doesn't complicate things. I mean, when I looked at it the first time, I'm like, okay, I can tell this lady, she keeps it simple. She gets to the point. She's not complicating anything, just from looking at the website.
Yeah, money's complicated enough, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, right? So many people think, oh, I'm going to have to learn about mutual funds or all this. And I'm like, what are you talking about, right? That's like an investment side of it. But people think money investment, but people don't think money lifestyle, or what do I actually want? Like, so there's this big, I got it, I'm so stupid when it comes to numbers. Well, that drives me crazy when people say that I'm not good at numbers. I'm like, that's a good excuse that you're using, right? And those are excuses. Those are just like put my head in the sand, because you don't have to be good at numbers to be good at money.
You hire an accountant. Come on.
Yeah. Or there's a program called a free one online that you can go to, mint.com.
Yes.
Which can actually help. You can download your bank. It'll put it into categories. Knowing your numbers is the number one key to start. So if you do nothing else, know your numbers. So many people don't know their numbers. And so then I'm like, well, where are you at? And they're like, I don't know. Okay, well, let's do that. And it's hard because some of them haven't looked at it. The bills come in, or they don't look at them, or they don't talk to their spouse about it.
Yeah. I think it's embarrassing to have that conversation, because I feel squeamish about it. It makes me vulnerable. It exposes me. People will know my business. I
So
probably would
much
look,
shame.
I probably would look lower than somebody else because you already
Absolutely.
judge or prejudge the other person that they're better off than you.
That's the number one. The hardest thing that I tell my clients is the hardest thing that they have to do is actually ask for help. That is the hardest thing because the shame and the embarrassment, the guilt, the anxiety, the waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? That phoning and saying, I can't do this by myself is a first step. That's the first step. And it's hard because it's, they're going to judge me just exactly what you just said. And I know because I've been there. And then the second one is knowing their numbers.
Yeah.
So if once they get through those two steps, the rest actually goes fast and it comes easy because there's your numbers. You can't get all anxiety about them. They're black and white. Now we can do something about it. So
That's
it's so key for you to, first ask for help. It's okay. If you've never learned this, and how would you know how to do it? I didn't know how to do it. And if I hadn't have asked my friend, who was doing it, like, can you help me? And she's like, absolutely. And now even as my process goes through, I realize the power of coaches and mentors, and I've had them throughout the last, 15 years of my life in different forms, and business coaching and nutrition coaching and
yeah.
fitness coaching. Like, I understand that we try and do it by ourselves. Like, we're not an island. We need a tribe. We need help. We
Yeah.
need to do, and it's okay, right? You're not
Yeah.
supposed to do it by yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Even if I live on an island, but there are people on the damn island. So we're not by ourselves.
Yeah.
So Shari, I want to say thank you so much. I mean, you've shared your own experience. I mean, you put yourself out there. You made yourself vulnerable. Most people wouldn't do that, but I really appreciate you for sharing your experience. I'm sure it's going to resonate with other women and men out there because it's not only about
Yeah.
women, it's about men. And,
Yeah.
and your tips and strategies. And people get onto that program of personal development. Nobody's telling you where to start. Just choose a book and just keep going. And
Yeah.
I just want to hint to people that I do have a program on my website, so you can check it out. It's Be Smarter Than Your Sources. So check it out. Yeah, and just start a program. A book a month is all I'm saying. A book a month. That's
Yeah.
easy. A book a month. And let's just work through it together. But Shari's there as your financial advisor. She's there to help you to be a mentor, be a coach in
Mhm.
terms of the financial aspect to move from where you are to where you want to go. Shari, thank you so much. For,
Thanks, Karina. It was nice to meet you.
it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.